Imagine living in a time with no supermarkets, no internet, and constant war where one wrong step could cost you your life. Welcome to the Middle Ages, a world of kings, knights, plagues, and power struggles that shaped the Europe we know today. Stay with me, because the story gets crazier as we go. In the Middle Ages, a new civilization was slowly taking shape across Europe. Nobles and kings, faith and warfare, culture and learning, trade and innovation, these forces combined to lay the foundations of the modern world at the start of the 1st century CE. The Roman Empire controlled the Mediterranean. Life was relatively stable and prosperous. Roman citizens had solid roads, safe borders, and bustling cities. In the far eastern corners of the empire, a new religion emerged, Christianity. Starting as a small Jewish sect, it spread throughout the Roman world. By the 4th century, it became the official state religion, embraced by emperors. Yet Rome's power was fading. Inflation, disease, hunger, and attacks brought the empire down. By 395 CE, it was split into East and West. The East, with its capital at Constantinople, remained wealthy and urban. The West, centered on Rome, was poor and rural. Tribes pushed across the Rhine and Danube, eventually settling in the empire. In 476 CE, the Western Roman Empire crumbled when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown. And just like that, the Dark Ages kicked off. Europe became a land of Romans, Christians, and barbarians. Around 500 CE, new kingdoms rose, ruled by barbarian kings who had largely adopted Christianity. The Ostrogoths ruled Italy, the Visigoths Spain, and the Franks Gaul. But these kingdoms faced immense challenges. Cities were in ruins, roads decayed, coins disappeared, literacy fell, and law and security weakened. Western Europe became fragmented, isolated, and politically unstable. In the 6th century, Byzantine Emperor Justinian I attempted to reunite the empire and restore Roman glory. He conquered Italy but soon lost it to the Lombards. Meanwhile, Arab armies swept across North Africa and the Middle East, forming a vast Islamic caliphate. The weakened West seemed on the verge of collapse. But in 732, Charles Martel of the Franks halted Islamic expansion at the Battle of Tours. His dynasty, the Carolingians, would shape Europe for centuries. Charles Martel's son, Pepin the Short, secured the Frankish throne and granted the Pope authority over central Italy. Establishing the Papal States, Pepin's son, Charlemagne, became the most famous Carolingian ruler. Ascending to the throne in 768, he expanded his kingdom across much of Western Europe. In 800 CE, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne emperor, re-establishing a Western imperial title centuries after Rome's fall. Charlemagne promoted learning, culture, and political organization, inspiring what is known as the Carolingian Renaissance. However, the empire was short-lived. After Charlemagne's death, his grandsons divided the territory, leaving fragmented states that would evolve into France, Germany, and other regions. New waves of invasions followed: Vikings from the north, Magyars from the east, and Muslim raiders from the south. Europe was under constant threat. To protect themselves, nobles built wooden castles and maintained private armies. A system of personal loyalty and mutual obligations, known as feudalism, dominated Europe. Kings were often weak, while local lords controlled their lands with considerable power. By the 10th century, Europe started to find its footing. Vikings and Magyars settled down and embraced Christianity, while better weather helped farming thrive, boosting food and population. England was unified under King Alfred the Great. In France and Germany, rulers consolidated power and ended foreign invasions. Otto I, King of Germany, defeated the Magyars and became emperor in 962, establishing the Holy Roman Empire. Starting around the year 1000, Europe really took off, with better farming, cool tech, and growing towns. Trade and city life just exploded. Merchants became independent, forming self-governing cities. Art, architecture, music, and learning flourished. With the first universities founded under the Church's guidance, Europeans rediscovered ancient knowledge, preparing the ground for the Renaissance. During this time, European powers also expanded outward. Norman rulers conquered England, Christian kingdoms in Iberia pushed southward against Muslim territories, and German settlers moved eastward. In 1095, Pope Urban II called for the First Crusade to reclaim Jerusalem, leading to Christian states in the eastern Mediterranean, while these Crusader states were eventually reconquered. The Church demonstrated its growing power during the 12th and 13th centuries. The Church made some big changes, strengthening the papacy and creating a centralized, hierarchical organization. Kings gradually consolidated their authority, establishing strong states in England, Spain, and France. In contrast, the Holy Roman Empire fragmented into independent principalities. By the 14th century, Europe faced new challenges. The Black Death arrived in 1347, killing roughly a third of the population, but in its aftermath, labor became scarce, wages rose, and peasants gained new rights. Cities recovered, innovation accelerated, and a new renaissance emerged, particularly in Italy, bridging the medieval and modern worlds. Gunpowder transformed warfare. Knights lost dominance to infantry and artillery, forcing nobles to serve kings as administrators. The 100 Years' War wrecked England and France, but heroes like Joan of Arc helped change the game. Spain came together under Ferdinand and Isabella, conquering Granada and completing the Reconquista. By the late 15th century, Europe was poised for exploration and expansion. By 1500, Portugal and Spain had opened new trade routes to Africa, Asia, and the Americas. These explorations wrapped up the Middle Ages and kicked off the modern era, setting the stage after years of chaos and conquest. And innovation now shaped a world ready to expand beyond Europe and change history forever. If this journey through the Middle Ages amazed you, hit like, subscribe for more incredible history, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next mind-blowing story. What medieval event shocked you the most? Share in the comments.